Hello and welcome to the Radiga Cross Country Complex in Krasnoyarsk. It's the final day of competition at the 2019 Winter Universiade. An overcast day, but conditions are mild. And as always, the wax technicians have got such an important job to do. Even more important in a long race. The wax eventually gives way. And so they'll do the best job they can to send their athletes out on the right surface for the prevailing conditions. Not had any snow the last couple of days, so the course will be as it has been. It was used yesterday for the women's 15K, and a big field is making its way out to the start area. We're just a couple of minutes away from beginning this longest of the men's races. In this cycle of the Universiade, it'll be the freestyle. 2 years ago, it was a classic technique. 76 competitors from 22 countries. Russian Federation looking to dominate the top places, but they'll get a good opposing campaign from the likes of Japan, Kazakhstan, Switzerland, France and Austria, all with multiple entries. The Russian Federation has a full team of 6 in. That's the maximum number. Snow temperature has risen in the last few days. It was -6, so that will be factored into the waxing of the skis. Wind from the west at 2.5 meters per second. That seems to have been the prevailing direction. And there are the starting bibs. So the Russian Federation, Yakimishkin, can he make it a 4th gold medal for himself? And can it be another 1, 2, 3 for the Russian Federation? Well, all these skiers will be trying to get amongst it. As we get to the bottom half of the field, they'll really just be looking for a personal best performance and the opportunity to take part in this last cross-country race at Radiga. So a terrific spread of nations, as you can see. Good representation again from Canada, United States there, China, Slovenia, Xia and Wang of China, the last to get away from this mass start beginning to the men's 30K. So there he is, Yakimishkin. He could have had 4 gold medals, of course. More about that through the race. He was just about set for a start. Crowd anticipating. We are away in the 30K mass start for the men freestyle. 8 laps, 4 on the red course, 4 on the blue. And each lap 3.75 kilometers long. As they head out of the stadium for the first time at a good clip too, and off to the right there in 3 is Ivan Kirillov. Good strong family tradition in cross-country skiing. His father was an international skier. The first non-Russian with the lowest bib is Naoto Baba of Japan, and he's a 22-year-old from Tokyo. So there's the wind just disturbing the flags in the stand. It's around, but it should not be enough to upset the athletes on the trickier sections of the course. There's been 1 or 2 falls in these cross-country races around the quicker sections. The athletes just looking to settle into a comfortable rhythm. And taking the early running there, Fabio Lechner of Switzerland. And then in 11, Louis Schwartz of France. Schwartz going out reasonably briskly. He's from the University of Grenoble-Alpes. Very important in the first few minutes just not to get tangled up in something. I mean, you don't win the race on the first lap, but you can just about lose it if you have a big fall. We saw that in the women's race when Ursula Latocha of Poland, who was in the lead group, tumbled out of contention on a fast right-hand descent, and she never really recovered. The pace will play its own part in sorting the field into what will eventually be single file, but at the moment it's Schwartz of France leading them through, maybe just looking to get his chance on the camera. I don't see him winning, but he's happy to dictate the early pace. He's ahead of Fabio Lechner of Switzerland. Then we've got some of the Russians coming through. Kirill Kilyuvnyuk, who's a local from Krasnoyarsk, in bib number 7 today. 3 they go, the 1100-meter mark. The time on the right, how far they are behind the leader. So he's coming through now, 13 seconds or so behind Schwartz. Various checkpoints around the course, and we'll use that to give us a guide as to how everyone's going. And you do not want to be that far behind this early, but that's the case there for Kevin Gossen of the United States, out of Western State Colorado University. It's going to be a long day for him and some of the tail enders if they lose touch this early. Anyway, that's not going to trouble him. He wants to get the race done, and this is how it started. Frantic pace. And Ivan Yakimushkin. He's won every race he started, or at least been first across the line, but just to expand on that DQ, he was disqualified in the sprint final after a clash with Torentev on the final turn, and that was unfortunate for him. He was first across the line, but the jury took a dim view of his coming together with Torentev when they clashed stocks, and they ruled a line through Yakimushkin. But he did win the 10K Classic and then the 10K Pursuit, and was part of the gold medal winning Russian team over 30 kilometers. Quite a scramble, isn't it? And we did have, who's that getting caught up there? 28. He was turned around in his skis there. That was Matusz Haratik of Poland, so he was a little bit unlucky. At least he kept upright and didn't lose a ski. He lost a few seconds. Schwartz, Lechner, Kilyuvnyuk, Yakimushkin, Kirillov and Timashov, the top 6 through that first checkpoint. There are a couple of sections out on the course where we do not have coverage. Botsov, Kazakhstan, Musman of Austria. There, a couple of men who've featured in a few races. quite a heavy program for some of these athletes. Mark Chanlong of Thailand here representing that nation with his sister Karen. Alexander Maycock in bib 58, but he's moved up quite a few places in the first couple of minutes. Field is 63 at that point, so maybe we've had a lot of athletes not start. I'll be interested to try and check that on our screens if it shows. We've only got 63 out of what was going to be 76, so a lot deciding at the last minute. They can nominate and withdraw, and we saw that in the women's race as well, so I'll not be too surprised there. So Klivnyuk now has caught the leaders. They've just pulled back Lechner and Schwartz to the main pack, and off to the side there was Kodostek for a moment. He was looking for a drink. Yes, I think he was. That's one of the first drink stations. As has been the case right through with these games that started 10 days ago, the conditions unexpectedly mild this time of year in Krasnoyarsk. Central Siberia, a population of 2.8 million, but much more than that in the greater region. Krasnoyarsk towards the south of Central Siberia. Not so very far from northern Mongolia. Trans-Siberian Railway passes through Krasnoyarsk. And before there, Naoto Baba of Japan takes up the running for the moment. And Baba from Senshu University, an institution founded in 1923, so not far away from their 100th anniversary. I'm sure there'll be some timely celebrations at Senshu University. 38 in the very colourful outfit. From Austria, Tobias Mussmann. Mussmann from the University of Innsbruck, a city with a great attachment to winter sport, of course. So coming up to 8 minutes as they come through into the stadium for the first time. And we'll check the 3.6 kilometre margins as they come through. And there's some smiling Japanese faces there because Baba has the lead. My goodness, though, there's a lot of racing to come between now and the finish. But Yakimushkin back in 8th place as they come through here. Klivnyuk, the highest place of the Russian skiers at the moment. These better skiers with the more experience will know what they must do is try and get a feeling for how those around them are skiing and holding up under the pressure of the pace, and that if a move is made, whether they have to go or not, whether they can haul back any runaway rabbits. The field relatively still compressed. 35 there in the light blue uniform was Fabian Stocek of the Czech Republic. They have one gold medal at these cross-country events so far. Japan has a silver, but what we've witnessed here is a dominance of the events by the Russian Federation. They have 9 gold, 7 silver and 7 bronze. 23 medals they've secured out of the 30 on offer at the cross-country at Radega. Klivnyuk still trailing Baba, so it's Japan and the Russian Federation. And Struble of Germany moved up to a prominent position in bib number 7. We'll see how he handles the pace. 18 there, Tanaka of Japan going through the underpass. 11 off to the right is Schwartz, who is the early leader. 10 off to the left, Lechner. They had a good dip at the first lap of having a share of the lead, but at the moment it's settled down into a bit of a pattern. Babar, then Klivnuk. 5 is Timoshov, 2 gold and a silver medal for him, and then race favourite Yakimushkin in 1. Just happy to sit back a few places and see what happens around him. 2 there is Poroshkin going through. Poroshkin, when you're looking for relevant results at this level, not always easy to find, but Poroshkin did have a 3rd placing in a 30k skiathlon where they ski 15 kilometres in classic and 15 in freestyle. That was in February a couple of years ago in Tumen. Hold off talking there to let you catch the delightful sound of the skis doing their work across the snow. Had some beautiful pictures and sound coming to you from Radega, and give my thanks and congratulations to the Match TV crew who have taken care of this for us. Fine job, and very cooperative too they are. 53 going through there was Philippe Nicolier of Switzerland. Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich is his college. Now Tababa, there's his form. Young Japanese skier. Lightly built, good build for the endurance events. Well, Japan feature later today. Their silver medal here in the cross country came in the women's 3x5K. Takizawa, Yokohama and Kodama. And can there be another medal for Japan today? Well, their fans will be hoping so. There are some of them. The Japanese women's ice hockey team last night picked up a bronze medal in overtime. Tremendous excitement at the Arena Seva when Japan defeated the United States. 1-1 at the end of the 3 periods, and they went to overtime, and they only needed 15 seconds and got the winner. And it is Japan's Baba. I wonder if he's been inspired by the Japanese women's ice hockey team. He's a narrow leader over Klivnuk, Timoshov. Any of those within 5 seconds of the lead, there's nothing in that over this distance. And even 11.5 seconds back, Bashmakov of Kazakhstan. He's well in touch. Louis Schwartz is, oh yeah, he's just drifted back 21 seconds almost off the lead after taking front position for a little while. Perhaps he just wanted to be able to grab some vision out of the race later and say, there I was leading that race in Krasnoyarsk in 2019. And he'll find himself on YouTube for another couple of years and show his relatives. So why is that man holding all those stocks? It's because sometimes the stocks can break or you lose touch with them. The strap might snap, and around the course you want to have some spares, and team members can rush in and offer a bit of fresh equipment if there's a breakage.
welcome to Russia, welcome to Krasnoyarsk.
Well, the weather is improving almost by the minute. You started with quite overcast skies. The sun is a little higher in the sky. Clouds moving away. And the athletes are moving quickly around the course. We've had 15 minutes of racing. There's that fast right-hand turn that can bring skiers undone. A couple of them forced much wider than they intended to go. That was where Latocha fell in the women's race. And we'll watch that bend with interest as the legs get a little tired and the mind gets a bit fuzzy. That could be where a mistake comes. So coming through the 6.7 now, and it's still Baba from Klievnyuk, Timoshov, Yakimushkin and Kazarinov, and then Poroshkin. So the Russians are 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and Klimin of Kazakhstan, and then Germany's Strubel. Now your top 8, Korostek and Lechner of Slovakia and Switzerland, 9 and 10. So into the stadium once more for the second time. 8 laps in total. Baba striding out nicely, a whole Russian contingent behind him. And also Slovakia's Korostek, Klimin from Kazakhstan. So the stocks are quite long, up to the shoulder of the skiers, and even taller. Past the main grandstand come the leaders. Nikita Gridin in 22nd place there for Kazakhstan. So Baba still happy to take up the running. He's happy in that position. I wonder what his race tactic might be. He doesn't want to get wedged in the middle, perhaps, of the Russian team when they're skiing as a team. But there are plenty of wide open spaces around this course for passing and manoeuvring. And in freestyle, it's probably a little easier to make a move as well. The skating style and the freestyle skis are waxed differently, as many of you will know, and I don't mean to state the obvious to those of you that know cross-country skiing well. But some might be watching for a first or second time. 34 and 35 there, moving through. Otaki of Japan and Stocek of the Czech Republic. Baba down the main straight inside the stadium just stepped off to one side, almost inviting one of the Russian skiers to take a share of the lead, but they're almost deliberately sitting back, it would seem. Kazarinov in second at the moment. 31 there is Ikonen of Finland, and then there's a bit of a gap back to Bashmakov in 16. Bashmakov, yeah, he's about 3 seconds he was behind Lechner as they came through the stadium. So maybe we've narrowed it down to a top 13. Ikonen through there as the camera follows him around the bend and up the hill. Finland with 2 bronze medals so far in the cross-country competition. About to come through 8.6. Now the field is starting to test the stamina of the back half, and they're not keeping pace. Here's our lead group. Baba comes through. Yakimushkin's there. So a strong Russian presence, as you can see, in the top 10. Lechner 13th. Now here's the gap between Lechner and the next quickest through, Bashmakov. So that's out to 11 seconds. So the lead group just starting to lift the tempo a little. Or the followers just sagging off. Doesn't matter, we've got the same result. We've got a little bit of separation happening now. Race dwindling down to a top dozen or so. Stochek again. He's got the companion there in Hyuga Otaki of Japan. That's Otaki preferring to race with somebody, someone to follow. And then a group of 6. 18 is Masato Tanaka. And 32 to the left there, Yuso Makala, another one of the Finns. Got a good representation in this race. "22 countries. This right-hand turn that's so dangerous. A couple going too wide there, nearly running into a couple of the blue markers on that bend. It's quick. Timoshov just off the back of that group. Sorry, man. And an eye on the clock and on the group. And they can communicate around the course, and that's what they'll be doing. It's still Baba out front. And Yakimushkin. And then Koristek. So Jan Koristek of the Slovak University of Agriculture in Nitra. Baba. Well, he was highly ranked. See, he's pipping at number 4, so they ranked them on FIS points. Yakimushkin, Poroshkin and Kirillov, the top 3. Nothing between Kirillov and Baba in terms of FIS points. So Baba on that stat deserves to be well regarded. And there's our friend Timoshov just struggling at the back of this group. I don't think he can stay there much longer. Yeah, it was a very proud moment for Timoshov when he got his first gold medal from President Putin on the early day of competition here at Radega. 17, Struble doing his best to hold on. But like Timoshov, it's a struggle. Further back through the field, and 16 there is Bashmakov. And 10, Lechner, who on the first lap had a share of the lead for a little while. 11, Louis Schwartz, likewise. They're back in the pack now. 37, Chichkov of Belarus. Kirillov. Yeah, he's well back now, unfortunately. And 26 is Vigo Delaco, the Spaniard from the University of Lleida. Fairly well up from bib number 64, Jean Grosset, National Institute of Applied Science in Lyon, the Frenchman. Masato Tanaka in 18. Juuso Makela of Finland in 32. Getting towards the back of the field, there's Pierrick Sigor in 74 for France, and 68 Pierre Tichet, his teammate. 27, he's a long way back considering his bib. Simur Laskin of Belarus. 45 coming through, Florian Vinka. Came here with his brother Christian, but haven't seen too much of the older brother. Might have had an injury, or was expecting him to start in a couple more races. And 74 there, Pierrick Sigor, University Savoie-Mont-Blanc in France. Stragglers coming through. 39, Kim Yoon-ho from Dankook University in Republic of Korea. He'll enjoy that little downhill stretch and try and get the oxygen on board for the next tough section of these two courses, the red and the blue. There's a 42-meter height difference around the course and a 35-meter maximum climb. .38 skiing on his own at the moment. Tobias Mussmann, the Austrian. Won't lose him in the dark with that uniform. And 43 is Rabakuk of Estonia. Haven't seen many of the Estonian athletes in the cross country this past week. 60 is Matthias Ziegler of Canada, University of Alberta. 41, Michal Skowron of Poland, studying PE at the Jerzy Kukuczka Academy. There's your top 8. Timoshov at the 13.5K, starting to drop off, and Klimin in 7th position. So we had a top 13 not long ago, and down to 9, and Struble 9 seconds behind, and then goodness, a big gap of 50 seconds between Struble and Viggo Dell'Arco. So I don't think anyone outside that top 9 has a chance now, but this is how it plays out. Baba takes the inside line on that tight, fast right-hander, and nobody really in trouble there, although Korostek took it a bit wider than the others. And really, we're down to 7. Timoshov, he's not giving up on this. If he can find something, just a bit of refreshment or a bit of a fresh idea or a second wind or something, maybe he can reattach himself. He's certainly trying hard enough. Josias Struble, likewise. He's from the University of Hagen in Germany. He's a bit further back, though, 24 seconds behind Baba. It's rare for someone who loses touch with the pack by more than a few seconds to get back on board the train. Into the stadium again. Just the 7 in this lead group. So coming through at 14.8. Baba, Yakimushkin, Klivnyuk. Klivnyuk, big cheers will go up for him as he's been claimed to be a local from Krasnoyarsk. Baba moving along ever so lightly on his skis. It's an interesting race from him. I'd rather not see the whole Russian team around me. If I lead it, then I've only got the course to look at. I wonder if that might be a thought he has. And to be lapping a couple of the slower competitors there. 67 is Andrew James from the United States and Colorado Mesa University. Timoshov. So he's 15 seconds down on the leader. And that margin is increasing. So the Japanese flags have come here with maybe a hope or two that their man Baba can do something. He's had top 4s in World Cup, Baba. We'll go back to that in a moment as some others come through. 26 there, Viggo Dell'Arco. So how far behind is this group? Quite a bit. So he is a minute 20 now behind Baba. So these skiers are effectively having a race of their own. Back to the front. Korostek at the rear of this group. Baba, then Yakimushkin, Poroshkin. Kazaranov is there in 8. And Jan Korostek just holding on. Will he be the next to suffer because of the pace being set out front by Baba, Yakimushkin, Poroshkin. On the first day, in the first 2 days of competition here in the 5K and 10K for the women and the men, Classic and Pursuit. 1, 2, 3 Russian Federation in all 4 races. So the clean sweep on the podium is what they're after with this very strong team. They've brought plenty of skiers here, maximum of 6 in the individual events. So they can only win 1 medal in a couple of the relays, so opportunities to fill second and third not there, but when they've been able to, they've done a good job of it. There was a gold medal in the sprint to the Czech Republic for the women, but they've been otherwise dominant, especially with the victories. So Korostek 5 down, and here comes our man Timashov again. It's just not there, is it? He's labouring up this hill. And 22 seconds behind Babar. I'd like to see him make a surge, but I don't think he's got it in him. Struble. Almost 40 seconds behind Babar. Next group coming through. It's been 37.5 minutes of racing for Babar. Won't be up to well past 40 now, but they've covered over half the race distance. This is a 30-kilometre freestyle event. All start together in what we identify as the mass start. 22 is Nikita Gridin of Kazakhstan. (15) off to the left is Maurus Lotza of Switzerland. Good test of mental strength, these races. You get halfway through and you realize that the leaders are way in front of you. What's in it for you? Well, you've come here to compete, represent your university and your nation, and just do the best you can. Louis Schwartz now. 14 there, Akihito Uda from Waseda University in Shigoku, Tokyo. And Konstantin Botsov of Kazakhstan. Thomas Kalivada, Czech Republic. You can see the athletes who are struggling that they look like they are. The body language can't disguise how easily they're coping with the course and the distance. An easier style from Masato Tanaka. Not skiing quickly, but nor does he look laboured. 32 behind him is Juuso Mäkelä of Finland. 36 Paliaku of Belarus, and 33 Aidan Kirkham of Canada. Quite well placed. Gentle sound of the breeze through the trees as we check the leaders once more, and we've got a top 7 with 17 seconds between Korostek and Timashov, and then from 10 and beyond certainly no chance of a top 3 finish, because we're well into the second half of the race now. Babar still happy to lead. Yakimushkin and Kirillov settling in behind him, and then Klivnyuk and Kazaranov, and then Klimin. So we've now just got a top 6, it would seem. So Korostek, who we wondered if he could keep pace, looks like he's lost touch. No sign of him as they crest this hill, and a little surge there made by Babar. He's still got the rhythm, mouth wide open, hauling in the oxygen as best he can. Klimin won a 30k freestyle in December last year in Almaty, in his home country of Kazakhstan. And a little bit of a surge there has just given us some separation between 4th and 5th. Baba, if he can maintain this pace, he's really going to ask some questions of those trying to keep with him. And just dropping a little bit off the back. There's Klimin. And Kazarinov with him. Is there a problem for them? They're 5 and 6.5 seconds behind Baba. Korostek, he's the man most recently to drop out of the leading pack. And Timashov for company there. So Korostek suddenly is 32 seconds behind Babar. He's hit the wall, I'm afraid. And Timashov, not far behind him, might be in a position to overtake him. That's a minor story in the big picture, though. So suddenly 7 are 6 and now maybe 4, and it is number 4 who continues to lead this race as Naoto Baba from Japan leads the 3 Russians, Poroshkin, Yakimushkin and Klyuvnyuk. And then that gap back to Kazarinov and Klimin. This is the 18.6 kilometre checkpoint, so almost 12 kilometres to go after they come through this time. And you may or may not be aware, they do ski a distance a fair bit longer than this. There is a 50k race at the Winter Olympics, but these as relatively junior or university athletes, we're not asking them to ski that distance. This 30k race. 2 years ago in Almaty, the top placings were filled by Russia, 1st and 2nd, Kazakhstan 3rd and 4th, and then Japan. So they've got some pedigree in this race distance, and as we move into the freestyle, which seems to suit Naoto Baba even better. What's it to be? There's 3 to make an assault on him. They can race as a bit of a team here. Poroshkin, Klyuvnyuk and Yakimushkin. There is the gap back to Kazarinov and Klimin, Russia and Kazakhstan. And they look like they're hurting. Sun's out once more, everyone casting a strong shadow around the course. Still skiing strongly out front. Maybe the head dropping a little bit on the incline for Naoto Baba. But no one's quicker than him at the moment. Klyuvnyuk, then Yakimushkin, and off to the right is Poroshkin. They don't have the breath to stop and have a chat about what they might do to catch the leaders. It's just do your best. And it looks like it's very hard work indeed for Igor Kazarinov from the Volga Region State Academy of Physical Culture, Sport and Tourism in the bib number 8, as the leaders almost disappear from their view. Through comes Klimin. And Kazarinov from the Tatarstan Republic within the Russian Federation. He just has a little look over his shoulder and wearily ducks down into the tuck position. And 3 there, what Kirillov has said, I've had enough. Well, he was struggling the race distance or just how he feels today not working out for him, and that's disappointing for him.
Und dann kommen sie jetzt dann nach vorne.
22 is Gridin of Kazakhstan, leading that little group of 4 through. 16 and 15, Bashmakov and Lotsa of Kazakhstan and Switzerland, respectively. And 31 at the back of that mini pack is Joel Ikkonen from the Karelia University of Applied Sciences in Finland. Happy to ski in a little group. Maybe it's of some comfort to have someone with you on this long journey of 30 Ks. Coming up to 20 minutes after midday local time. Vigo Delaco of Spain, who for a little while was in the lead group. Fabio Lechner of Switzerland. Fractionally ahead there of Jean Grosset of France, who's skiing well above his bib number of 64. 11 is Louis Schwartz of France. 37, Ale Chichkov of Belarus. The rear of that group, Tobias Oran of Germany, 46. Losing touch with him a little, perhaps. 19. Haruki Yamashita of Waseda University. Quite a few of the Japanese athletes, men and women, at Waseda University in Tokyo. Louis Schwartz of France. Then it's Chichkov. Around they go. A real test of your mental fortitude, but unless you test it, you don't know what you've got. So that's another useful way to consider this kind of racing. So, well, I went out there, I tested myself, I finished the event, I never stopped trying. I learned a bit about myself.
Преимущество представителей Японии, и надо отметить, темп не снижается ни на мгновение. Опять же, усилиями японского спортсмена рассыпается группа лидеров. Сейчас она состоит из 2 человек.
Baba, there he is, still leading it. Klivnyuk, Poroshkin, Yakimushkin. So it's dwindled down to a race in 4 because Klimin is 14 seconds behind Yakimushkin now. And Kazaranov, Timashov, a minute behind the leaders. He was in the lead pack for a good while, as was Kodestek. Their chances have melted away on this beautiful semi-spring day in Krasnoyarsk.
Следующая контрольная отсечка будет 21 километр 900 метров, дорогие друзья.
Big field of over 60 started the race. We've had a couple withdraw, including a surprise exit of Ivan Kirillov, one of the top 5 Russians. And now, this is interesting. Baba has made another surge. And only Klivnyuk has been able to go with him. In the background, you see Poroshkin pushing hard, but they've dropped off Yakimushkin. That's interesting. So it won't be another gold, it would seem, for Yakimushkin. There he is now, and he's well behind. This is just in the last half minute or so that the surge has been made by the front 2. Baba and Klivnyuk have got 6 seconds on Poroshkin, so another decisive move made by this pretty much unheralded Japanese skier, Naato Baba. He's at top 40s in World Cup events, does like this distance, freestyle and classic. So now his main opposition is just Klivnyuk. So they've skied over 2/3 of the race distance. And with still quite a bit to go, it's really boiled down to a race in 2. And Baba has been doing all the hard work out front. They've let him lead it. Baba. 30 Ks is the distance. Klivnyuk. '18th was Klivnyuk in a 30K freestyle event in the Scandinavian Cup just a couple of months ago. So he's been working up to this one. Klivnyuk was part of the men's 4x7.5K relay that won the gold medal. We'll go back through the field a bit and see how far they are behind our leaders. And we've got Timashov now, a minute 20 behind Baba. And Yakimushkin just looks across to the right. And he's having a chat and a smile. Is it okay? Couldn't do it today. Let's just enjoy the rest of the way around. That's kind of funny. Not too many laughs out front though for Klivnyuk and Baba. Poroshkin 20 or 30 meters behind. He's got half a hand on the bronze medal at the moment. As fourth place is well behind him. That's Yakimushkin. He was having a joke with Olzas Klimin, or might have been Kazarinov. Bit of refreshment on board for Klivnyuk. It's a skill in itself, being able to grab the drink on the fly, and it's a bit temporarily demoralizing for an athlete if they miss the drink station or the opportunity to take something from the team. It's a long journey. Nudging up towards an hour of racing. They did the journey 2 years ago in 1 hour and almost 20 minutes in the classic style, so this will be quicker. Poroshkin doesn't look to have too much to worry about behind him, so they've got just over 6 kilometers to go now. Yakimushkin, Klimin and Kazarinov there in a little group together, but well behind Poroshkin. So I would say, as we watch these three come up to the next checkpoint, that we've got our medalists, and Poroshkin almost certainly the bronze, but the real interest, as we would want it to be, is out about the gold, and Baba and Klivnyuk. As through comes Yakimushkin, Poroshkin and Kazarinov. Klimin. Well, Poroshkin was 11 seconds behind Baba. There's the tight group. Kazarinov, Yakimushkin and Klimin. At 17 is Strubel. So through the woods they come, the shadows across the course from these tall, slim trees that the Radiga surrounds. It's a brilliant facility, not just for cross-country. Some other sports supported here. Timashov now a minute and a half down. Let's see who's next to come through. Bashmakov. Second shot there, but it looks like it will be Josia Struble, who's sitting in 9th position. And he's 2:06 down on Baba. So there should be less than 10 minutes of racing left. Well, depending on whether Baba can maintain his current good race pace with Klivnyuk. Looking there at Bashmakov, skiing with Gridin. They're coming through. Big gap between Struble and these next 4. Coming up to that checkpoint now. Bashmakov will lead them through. Gridin, Ikonen, Lotsa. Nice spread of nations there. Switzerland, Kazakhstan, Finland. Jean Grosset of France in 64. 14 off to the left there is Akihito Uda of Japan. 10 at the right there, Fabio Lechner of Switzerland. Little group of 6 having a nice time of it together. I'll be looking forward to maybe participating in and enjoying the closing ceremony this evening in Krasnoyarsk. A very successful Winter Universiade. It's been going longer than many of you might know. This is the 29th edition of the Winter Universiade. And Baba looks a solitary figure out on the course now. Has he managed to shake off Klivnyuk? Well, he has. Klivnyuk is well behind him. And this is a really interesting development while we're showing you some of the rest of the field. And Poroshkin is, you can see his teammate there, and he can see the chance for a silver medal. He's not far behind, and looks like he's found something. He's certainly making an effort, but so too is Baba. He's cleared out from Klivnyuk, so it could be a Japanese gold medal here. Oh, talked him into it too early, but he looks to be in great form. No sign of trouble, no clear evidence of him wearying, fatiguing. So the 25.5K. Let's see the gap between Baba and his chasers. Baba's got a 15-second gap over Klivnyuk, and then Poroshkin just 3 seconds behind his teammate. So Poroshkin, his determination could be rewarded here. Klivnyuk is fading. Not only could he not keep pace with Baba, but he's falling back into the clutches of Poroshkin. Well, quite a few Japanese fans have come to Radega today to see if they can sneak a medal or something out of this last day of cross country. Well, they're going to be delighted to see the gap that Baba has established as he comes into the stadium again. It's Baba on his own. Well, in some ways he deserves to win this. He's not done yet. It's a 30K race, but the Japanese team have got to feel pretty good about his chances. Klivnyuk, followed by Poroshkin. No sign of Yakimushkin, who was wearing the #1 bib at the start of this race. The pace got too hot for him. .16 seconds now between second and first. The Russian Federation being shown the way here by a 22-year-old from Japan. And Baba heads out of the stadium once more. He's on his last lap. So too these men. And they're going to turn this into quite an interesting race for second and third. But hopes of another a Russian Federation clean sweep have disappeared. This fine race skied by Babar. So Klievnyuk, Poroshkin second and third, then Klemin of Kazakhstan, then back to Yakimushkin, who's drifted a minute back now. That margin has opened up very quickly. He's skiing alongside Kazarinov of the Russian Federation. All smiles amongst the Japanese supporters as Kazarinov and Yakimushkin and Klemin come through. So 2 years ago, Japan finished 5th in this race through Hikan Fujinoki and 7th through Akihito Uda, who is skiing today, but not in contention. It's his teammate Naoto Baba who's going to grab the headlines back home. If this man can continue to do what he's done for the last hour and 3 minutes, and for about 55 of those minutes, he has been the leader. And now he's managed to clear out from the Russian team. Klievnyuk and Poroshkin. Well, they can generate some pace trying to win their own little battle. And I don't know if they've got the time or the energy to get near Babar. There'll be sections and turns on the course where he can look over his shoulder and see whether they're gaining on him, but he's also got team officials out on the course to tell him how he's going, what the margin is. And it was 16.5 seconds when they came through 26.1 Ks. We'll look forward to the next checkpoint to see if that gap has widened. It is a beautiful course, but it's a testing one. Some tricky turns, some testing climbs. Poroshkin now leading Klievnyuk. And there's a drink for Klievnyuk. He was the last man to drop off the pace set by Babar. Yakimushkin climbing now. And Kazarinov. And his head dropping a bit. It's quite a distance between the 26.1K checkpoint and the next at 28.5. And when they come through our next checkpoint, there'll only be 1,500 meters for Babar to ski. Yakimushkin sitting in 4th position, and then the first athlete from Kazakhstan, Olzas Klemin. Kazarinov looks a bit spent. Wouldn't mind a bit of refreshment though. I'll go around and clean up the discarded bottles in due course. Struble seems to have been skiing on his own for quite a while now. Back to Anton Timashov. He's in about 7th position. Jan Korostek. Both these men were in the lead group for the first half of the race. And it's about fatigue and stamina and what you've got to give on the day. Korostek looks exhausted as he drops into the tuck. And here's Nikita Gridin. Following him up the hill, Joel Ikonen of Finland, and 16, Nail Bashmakov. (15) Morris Lotza of Switzerland. got a couple of times I can bring you here. Babar at the 28.5K checkpoint has stretched his lead to 39 seconds over Poroshkin and Kalivnyuk. So Babar is stretching them. That's happening away from the pictures we're showing you now. We do like to give everybody a bit of a moment, but there it is, the 39-second lead for Babar through 28.5Ks. Well, he's making the race his own. He's done so much of the hard work leading the field, and his pace has burnt them off one by one. We're so used to the events here at Radiga being played out principally by Russian athletes in front. Russian Federation having won 23 of the 30 medals distributed so far. They know what's going on here. The big screen and the public address let everybody know the story of the race. They only get to see the athletes for a minute or so as they come into and then leave the stadium. There's not a lot more to do for this man. Is he going to enjoy this moment when he comes into the stadium and finds that he's still got a big lead and he can really savour the occasion? Just be careful around this fast right-hander. He negotiates it once more. So he's had some good results over 50Ks as well. He doesn't mind the long distances. Mainly in freestyle, mass start events and national championships, and in open company back home. So I think we're going to see Naoto Babar, who's only 22, around for a fair bit longer. Might be challenging in future years and events some of the stronger nations in open company. So Babar, his lead over Kalivnyuk. Let's check it out as Kalivnyuk has his own race with Poroshkin. 33 seconds. Well, it's Babar's to lose from here, and I don't think he will. The finish line is too close. And into the stadium he comes. Naoto Babar, skiing towards Japan's first gold medal of the cross-country program. They've had a silver already in a relay event for the women, but now Babar skiing effortlessly, it seems. The prospect of this victory giving him more energy. The Japanese flag waved just for him as he skates towards the line. Naoto Babar, an unexpected victory, but a very welcome one for him and his university and his country. So Babar from Senshu University in Tokyo secures the win in the men's 30K mass start freestyle. Around the bend now comes Kirill Kalivnyuk. Krasnoyarsk local, pushing hard towards the line. Silver will be his. And bronze also to the Russian Federation, as Ilya Poroshkin comes across the line. Looks like he could barely blow out a candle. He's super fit, is Naoto Babar. Well, very entertaining. Nice to see a spread of nations picking up medals, and this is going to be gold to Japan, silver and bronze to the Russian Federation. The event conducted in terrific conditions. A minute 10. Sorry, 1 hour 10. A minute 10. 1 hour 10 minutes for the victory for Babar. As the top three pose for a couple of early photos. There'll be plenty more opportunities in the minutes to come. We'll have ceremonies, of course, but so that is 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes faster than the classic 30K 2 years ago. And quite a gap back to 4th, 5th and 6th. Poroshkin, Kazaranov. Photo for Yakimushkin and Klemin. And there they are. Poroshkin, Baba and Klivnyuk. Jan Korostek. You've really got to put the kilometres in, both in training and competition, build up the endurance in the legs. And it's what some of these athletes will be endeavouring to do today, just get another race under the belt. In comes Josia Strubel from Germany. 2 minutes 50 behind Baba. Nikita Gridin will be next to finish. Not really sure how many we might have finishing this race. We've got 3 DNFs and not finishing. Kirillov, Aratik of Poland, and Nicolia of Switzerland. And then about 10 nominated skiers who did not start from Turkey, United States, Norway, Austria, and Finland, and China. There's a look at some of the highlights of this race, won by Naoto Baba. Well, a surprising result for many, but Baba really just never lost his form. He looked so good. Once he emerged through the pack to take the lead, and he was the front runner for, oh, I don't know, 80% of the race. Kept expecting a surge to come from one of the Russian team, but Baba had them covered all the way. 10 there is Fabio Lechner. That skier really needs to get out of the way. It's Louis Schwartz. That's not a good spot to just collapse where it's so close to the finish line. Remembering that everyone else who's coming through is also very tired and fatigued and barely in control of their legs and body. Yeah. Want to leave the finish area as clear as you can. Get up as quickly as you can. It takes a few seconds for some to pull themselves away from the pain barrier. 64 there, Jean Grosset of France. He's really given it everything, and he's still there. I would like him to get out of the way. I've seen it happen. Collapsed skiers being run into by those finishing. Tobias Ulran of Germany finishing now. 23, Tomas Kalivoda of the Czech Republic. Oh, Yes, good pace on at the end. And 25 as Jonas Sakinen of Finland. He wants to just edge ahead of one more opponent. Stocek and Kilivoda are finished. Yamashita in for Japan, and he'll be delighted to see the result for his teammate. Stocek. Simur Laskin of Belarus. 47 is Mark Chanlang of Thailand. He's had a busy program at these cross-country events, as has his sister Karen. Not the first country you think of when you consider cross-country credentials, but Thailand have the brother and sister combination here in 2019. Well, at least one of them, maybe both, train in Italy, I believe. So we've got 32 through now, 33 and 34 finished. So still got quite a few out on the course. Someone's taken off the bib and said, "That'll do me." Republic of Korea, represented today by Kim Yun-ho. Still got an effort to give down the home straight. And the crowd very fair, very generous in their support of every country, every athlete. '56 is Nurkan Askar of Kazakhstan. Austria and Belarus finishing as well. Kotomsada of Austria, Lamakar, Belarus. 45, Florian Vinka of Germany, and he's followed in by Paul Combe of France. Combe was one of the early leaders on day one of the 10K Classic. Faster skiers went out after him, but here he is, finishing a little stronger. Combe from University of Savoie-Mont-Blanc. Thanks the crowd for their support. Just wanted to get past Vinka on the home straight, and he did that. Sometimes you're not sure what you've got left until you test the tank and push it. Yahan Baziliu of Belarus. He's coming around this last left-hand bend. Ahead of him, though, another finisher in Ataki, Hyuga Ataki from Nihon University. So our leader Baba finished nearly 11 minutes ago. Baziliu down to the line. Not much left. Anyway, he's pleased to stay out there. He's finished, which is more than some were able to do. There is Combe of France. Alexander Maycock in 58 for Canada. And 43 ahead of him is Rabakuk of Estonia. Nice little race in two, coming down to the line at the end of 30 Ks, and Maycock just there ahead of Skowron of Poland. They will separate them with a photo. Looked like Maycock got there first. And 74. Pierre Sigor into the arms of Combe, the two Frenchmen. Obviously good mates. Bon ami.
More than 12 minutes behind the leader for this time. Our congratulations to the winner of this race.
Young Norwegian fan waiting for the next competitor to come in. It'll be Kim Min-woo, perhaps of Republic of Korea. Moosman's across the line for Austria. And Kim, 48th to finish. 12.5 minutes behind our winner. So I'm sure later this afternoon and this evening there'll be stories swapped about not just today but the whole Krasnoyarsk adventure.
Сила.
Skowron there, just thanking and congratulating his family. Matthias Sigler of the University of Alberta in Canada rounds the bend. Sigler is not yet 20 years of age, so certainly one of the younger skiers in the event. We've had athletes as young as 17 competing at this Krasnoyarsk Universiade. Lucky the snow is reasonably soft today. 59 coming through is David Walker from Canada, also from the University of Victoria, which I'll be guessing is in British Columbia. It's near Vancouver. I hope that's right. That area not only hosted the Winter Olympics in Vancouver 2010, but Victoria, the Commonwealth Games back in the 90s. In 1994, I think.
Thank you, Russia. That was awesome.
Well, that's lovely to hear. Thank you, Russia. That was awesome. I think that's one of the huge benefits of hosting this event in Central Siberia. A lot of these young athletes and university students wouldn't automatically think of visiting a place like Krasnoyarsk, but now that they have, got a much better understanding of how things work in this part of the world. And everyone, I've said it again and again, but I'll say it once more, has made us feel so welcome. Talking to some Swedish players from the men's hockey team, they had a great time here. They set off, oh, an hour and a half ago, almost, and it looked as though it was going to be Russia again dominating the race, but there on the left was the man who would have a much bigger say than expected, as Naanto Baba in the dark uniform there on the second row bided his time and wore out some pretty elite company. Ilya Poroshkin, Ivan Yakimushkin. There's Poroshkin in two. He would end up with the bronze medal. yet to be put around his neck. Poroshkin was able to win the little battle between himself and Kazarinov, but Kalivnyuk was a little too quick for him in the latter stages. Kirill Kalivnyuk, silver medalist in the 30K. Once he lost touch with Babar, then it was about trying to get the best medal possible. And silver will look fine for Kalivnyuk. Kalivnyuk also a gold medal in the men's 30K relay. But here he is, the surprise packet out of Japan, Naoto Babar. Rarely could you pick that he was fatiguing or under stress, Babar. He's just got endurance to spare. He's done quite a few 50K races. And with those kilometres built into his training and experience, he was too good today. No one could stay with him. He was patient. He just waited and waited until the pace took its toll. And he was really able to enjoy the finish here. And he won it by almost 31 seconds. Yes, number one indeed. So Babar, 1 hour, 10 minutes and 20.9 seconds from Kirill Kalivnyuk and Ilya Poroshkin. Second and third for the Russian Federation. They also filled fourth and fifth and seventh. Klemin there for Kazakhstan in sixth, and Slovakia's Jan Koristek in eighth. But 2 minutes 26 behind Babar. He was good today. Struble, the highest placed of the Germans. Grudin and Bashmakov making a pretty good race for Kazakhstan. But out of a place today. They filled third and fourth 2 years ago. So certainly a changing of the guard in this race over this distance at the Universiade. We've got 55 finished now. So there won't be too many more to come through. '66 there, Gavin Shields from Lakehead University in Canada. And he'll make it 56 across the line. As we chatted about earlier, we had quite a few did not start and a few did not finish. You can reach that point where there's no reason to carry on if you feel unwell, or you put yourself at risk if you do keep competing and you're not feeling right. Come in with maybe a slight cold or a virus, and you think, oh no, I can do this race, and then find that you can't. Well, there's no point in risking damage. Some of our wonderful volunteers gathering around the athletes.
правильно? Я считаю, что очень круто, очень круто. Ну что ж, ждем мы церемонию цветочка, а сейчас продолжаем танцевать.
So the Canadian team, time to reflect on the program. No medals, but plenty of competitive experience. A silver medal in the women's ice hockey last night. They really took it to the host nation. That was a thrilling game. Very fortunate to have been there and watched that one. Russian Federation only wrapped it up in the last 5 minutes or so. Canada finishing with a silver medal in the women's ice hockey, and Japan the bronze. Big crowd too. So it looks like we've still got a couple to finish. The next action in terms of the presentation will be the flower ceremony, but the pattern has been to wait until everybody finishes. Not sure who might still be out there. Well, I think Derrick Hill and Andrew James of the United States were behind Gavin Shields of Canada. So now we've got someone coming into the stadium, and it is Derrick Hill. So we might only have Derrick and one other to finish. Derrick is from Western State, Colorado University. 22 years of age. And the crowd is hanging around to greet every competitor. Andrew James looks like he's coming into the stadium too, so I'm sure these athletes really appreciate their effort. Even if they're 24 minutes behind the leader, is appreciated by the good folks who've come along to Radiga today. 67 is indeed Andrew James. He also at a university in Colorado, but at Mesa University. If I can remember my school geology, and Mesa is like a tabletop mountain. There's plenty of good mountains in Colorado. So James down to the line, and Derrick Hill has waited for him. Congratulate him. They'll have some stories to take home. The day I skied 30 kilometers in the sun in Siberia. What's all this about Siberia being cold? It's not, you know, certainly not today anyway. Well, race officials will know when everybody who is still on the course is finished. It might be now, it's my guess. Confirming that Baba of Japan has won it. The men's 30K freestyle from Kliuvnyuk and Poroshkin of the Russian Federation. Kazaranov, Yakimushkin of Russia 4th and 5th, then Klimin of Kazakhstan. Well, right across all races here at Radiga, everyone's had an enjoyable time, good racing, great crowds, terrific facilities. Can't help but enjoy it. Still haven't seen any other competitors beyond Andrew James coming through the most recent checkpoint, so can't bring you any further update on whether there's still a competitor on the course or whether we're good. But they're not setting up the flower ceremony just yet in front of us, so maybe there's still someone out there. Kirilov, Haratik, Hammer, Nicolia, Yang didn't finish. And quite a few decided on the day that this race wasn't for them. Better news in the start-finish area. The crew have started to bring out the flower ceremony props, so it shouldn't be long until we can congratulate for the first time our top three.
Мы начинаем цветочную церемонию в соревнованиях по лыжным гонкам «Мастак-мужчины». We are glad to greet you at the flower ceremony for cross-country skiing men's Mastag.
Flower ceremony underway now for the 30k mass start, as our friendly mascot Yelaka leads out the team to take care of this first of two ceremonies, the flower ceremony and then the medal presentation
Цветы вручает председатель Сибирского банка, публичное акционерное общество Сбербанк Татьяна Галкина. The flowers will be presented by Chair of Siberian Bank of Сбербанк Татьяна Галкина. Третье место. Third place, representing the Russian Federation, Ilya Paroshkin.
Ilya Paroshkin, 23-year-old, attending the Smolensk State Academy of Physical Education.
Второе место, second place, representing the Russian Federation, Kirill Kilivnyuk.
Kirill Kilivnyuk. Well, they'll be happy about this one in Krasnoyarsk because this is his home city and attending the Siberian Federal University.
Первое место, first place, representing the Japan, Naoto Baba.
Naoto Baba. Well, he deserves it. The amount of time he spent in front. I know we often say you've only got to be in front once, but he was in front for a long time and he stayed there and he extended the lead and he's won it pretty convincingly in the end. Naoto Baba of Japan.
Let's greet medalists of the Universiade.
Mascot, you like it, took a tumble there. I don't know if that was intended or part of his own little theatre, but a happy scene around the flower ceremony. In a few minutes, if you'd like to stay with us, we'll have the medal presentation as well. Some highlights of a great race, the men's 30k mass start. Strong challenge as always from the Russian Federation. Ultimately, they weren't a match for the solitary front runner from Japan, Naoto Baba. Enjoy these pictures. Scene almost set for the medal presentation for the men's 30k mass start. Blue skies now. We started with a fair bit of cloud around, but perfect weather for this important moment. And the fanfare tells us it's arrived.
We are glad to greet you at the awarding ceremony of the 29th Winter Universiade.
The athletes are all suited up. The prizes are standing by, and we've got our presenters ready.
Председатель технического комитета по лыжным гонкам Международной федерации университетского спорта Зофия Кельпинска. The medals will be presented by Technical Committee Chair of International University Sports Federation Зофия Кельпинска. Талисманы вручает председатель законодательного собрания Красноярского края Дмитрий Свиридов. The medals will be presented by Chair of Legislative Assembly of the Krasnoyarsk Territory Дмитрий Свиридов. Третье место и бронзовый призер. Third place and bronze medalist representing the Russian Federation, Ilya Poroshkin.
Ilya Poroshkin out of the Smolensk State Academy. Was amongst the lead group for so long. And it's only fair that he collects a medal after the effort he gave today. And he looks happy to be there. And at 23 years of age, what might his future be in cross-country racing as he gets the more experience behind him? It's an important milestone, perhaps.
Second place and silver medalist, representing the Russian Federation, Kirill Kilivnyuk.
Kirill Kilivnyuk. Again, one of the strong Russian challengers who was worn down in the end by Baba. But Kilivnyuk will be particularly proud being from Krasnoyarsk.
Take it down. Я думаю, что все впереди еще. Поздравляю. Спасибо.
Победитель зимней универсиады 2019. The winner of the 29th Winter Universiade Krasnoyarsk 2019. Representing Japan, Naoto Baba.
Naoto Baba, the 22-year-old from Tokyo and Senshu University, has World Cup 30K experience in both freestyle and classic. And he was the man today, no doubt about that. Dominant, confident, and seemingly with a few kilometers left when he crossed the line as well. He supremely fit. And a great winner today in the 30K. Japan's first gold of the cross-country program, complementing the silver won earlier in the week by the women's relay team.
Уважаемые дамы и господа, звучит гимн FISU. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for FISU anthem.
And now these athletes can truly relax. Those formalities out of the way. I'm sure there are photos and interviews to take place, but it's a great day for Baba, Kilivnyuk and Poroshkin, Japan and the Russian Federation after the men's 30K mass start. I do hope you enjoyed not only this race, but the other 10 events we've had at Radiga. Hard-working production crew's done a great job. The good people at the FISU, we thank them for organising. as we leave Radiga for the last time, a big thank you also to the many cheerful, helpful volunteers. They've really made this a special visit to Krasnoyarsk. All the best to you all. Goodbye for now from Krasnoyarsk.
Представителям хронометража естественно, никаких оснований на службу вы не найдете никогда. Для того, чтобы все результаты были четко зафиксированы. Спасибо службе подготовки трассы за блестящую лыжню, за искрящийся сибирский снег. Я только рад вас назвать. Замечательная трасса, достижение силы ежегодочной программы 29-й зимней Универсиады. Спасибо такому комитету, спасибо спортсменам за эти блестящие результаты, заявки за хорошую жизнь, справедливую спортивную борьбу. Дорогие вам, дорогие зрители, и незабываемыми. 29-я зимняя Универсиада подходит к концу. У нас навсегда останется наша сердца. Спасибо, до новых встреч.
Today's